English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to another episode of the English Leap Podcast, your go-to podcast for learning English, where we grow your language skills and your confidence side by side. I'm Erin.
And I'm Evan. Whether you're learning English, setting big goals, or just wondering why you haven't started that New Year resolution you made 3 months ago, this episode's for you. Because today, we're diving into a topic we know will hit home.
Okay, Evan, be honest. Have you ever made a huge to-do list, felt super motivated, and then rewarded yourself with a nap before doing anything?
Oh, 100%. I once spent 2 hours organizing my planner and then took the rest of the day off. I had a vision board, motivational quotes, everything except energy.
Yep. That's the spirit of today's episode. We're talking about a feeling a lot of people relate to, but don't often admit. Being ambitious, but kinda lazy. You've got the dreams, the vision, the potential. But somehow you still end up binge watching videos with a snack in each hand.
Exactly. We want the glow up without the get up. Sound familiar? That's what we're unpacking today. Why ambition alone isn't enough, and how to bridge that gap between what you want and what you actually do.
And if that sounds like you, or even just a little like you, you're in the right place. We've created a free PDF guide for today's episode. It's got all the key takeaways, comprehension questions, and grammar practice to help you turn this episode into real growth.
You'll find the link in the description. Download it, use it, and hey, maybe don't let it sit in your downloads folder for 3 weeks.
Haha, seriously. And of course, as always, we'll be introducing some useful intermediate level words and phrases throughout the episode.
Exactly. And later on, our friend Charlotte will break them down in Charlotte's vocabulary section, where she'll explain their meanings and show you how to use them like a pro.
So now that we've set the stage and maybe exposed a few of our own habits, let's get into the heart of it.
Yeah, because being ambitious but lazy isn't just a personality quirk. It's a pattern, one that can quietly hold you back if you don't recognize it.
We're going to break it down, point by point, and talk about why this happens, how to shift it, and what English learners like you can do to take small, real steps forward.
Okay, let's unpack the first big trap that holds so many ambitious people back, even when their dreams are sky high.
Right. This one's sneaky. We all say we're waiting for motivation, but honestly, it's like chasing a mirage in the desert. You feel a burst of energy after watching a motivational reel, and 5 minutes later, you're deep into YouTube Shorts, completely off track.
Guilty. Last month, I watched a video that told me I could become unstoppable. So I made a to-do list, lit a candle, and took a nap. It's wild how we confuse feeling inspired with actually doing something.
Exactly. That's the mirage. It feels like we're moving forward, but we're just stuck in place. Because let's face it, motivation is fleeting. It shows up all dramatic like fireworks, then disappears just as fast.
Yeah. What really gets things going is momentum, not inspiration. I've learned that if I just start, write one sentence, read one paragraph, my brain wakes up and joins the party.
And the same goes for English learners. Don't wait for the perfect moment or perfect mindset to practice. Just set a 10-minute timer. Speak out loud. Write down 5 new words. Just do something. Progress starts with a decision, not a mood.
And speaking of progress, there's one thing that loves to stand in its way. It wears a cape and pretends to be helpful, but it's really just fear with good branding.
Oof. Perfectionism. I used to think it was a badge of honor. Like, look how high my standards are. But in reality, it left me stuck. I once took 3 weeks to post a 2-minute video because I couldn't decide if my tone sounded smart enough.
I feel this deeply. I used to rehearse my English so much in my head, It was like I had a whole TED talk ready. Until someone asked, "Hey, how are you?" And I froze. Perfectionism is counterproductive. It convinces you to polish something that doesn't even exist yet.
It's like trying to bake the perfect cake without cracking a single egg. You're stuck at step 0, just thinking about the masterpiece.
And for English learners, don't let perfection stop you from speaking. Don't wait to sound like a native. Speak now. Stumble. Learn. That's the real formula.
Yes, swap out perfect for progress. That one shift, total game changer.
So once you stop waiting for perfection and finally take that first step, you'd think things would flow, right?
You'd think, but then comes the overwhelm. Suddenly, it's not one step, it's 15 directions at once, and boom, you're stuck again.
You know this one. You set 15 goals, color code your planner, buy new pens, and then binge watch productivity hacks on YouTube for 3 hours.
I once had 12 goals for the month. Want to guess how many I achieved? 0. But my desk was spotless. That illusion of being productive was really just mental clutter.
Yup, we call this goal bloating. You're carrying so many goals, none of them move. Like trying to juggle water balloons. You can't catch anything because you're holding everything.
That's where you have to streamline. Pick one focus, not 5. Just one. That's how momentum builds.
And English learners, this is huge. Don't try to master pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, and writing all at once. Choose one. For this week, maybe it's speaking. That laser focus makes your progress compound over time.
The secret isn't more goals. It's less noise and more doing. One step, one target, one win at a time.
And just when you think you've narrowed it down and you're ready to move, there's another sneaky trap waiting for you.
Oh yeah, this one wears a suit and calls itself productivity. But really, it's just procrastination in disguise.
I've fallen into it so many times. I'll say I'm researching the best method or planning the perfect strategy, but I'm really just avoiding the uncomfortable part, getting started.
It's like rearranging your tools all day instead of building the thing. You feel busy, but nothing's actually moving forward.
And English learners do this too. I'm just looking for the right app. I'm organizing my study folder. All helpful, but only if it leads to real action. If not, it's just another form of delay.
Here's a tip. Ask yourself, am I preparing to do the work or postponing it? Big difference. Don't let the preparation phase become your permanent residence.
Start messy. Speak that one sentence. Watch the video and repeat what you hear. Do one tiny thing that's real, not just something that feels like progress.
And sometimes, even when we're not organizing or researching, we're still stuck. Not in action, but in our own heads.
Yes. It's like you're mentally rehearsing the task 100 times instead of actually doing it. Overthinking can be more exhausting than real work.
I remember lying awake one night, planning how I was going to reply to a single email. Just one. I rewrote it in my head 10 different ways. And by morning, I was drained and still hadn't replied.
Been there. Overthinking creates this invisible fatigue. You burn through your mental bandwidth before the task even begins.
And for English learners, it sounds like this. What if I make a mistake? Will they understand me? What if I forget the word? By the time you've thought of everything that could go wrong, you've talked yourself out of even trying.
Here's a mindset shift. Thinking is helpful up to a point. After that, it's analysis paralysis. Do a brain dump, write down your thoughts, then take one micro action. That resets the cycle.
Say the sentence out loud. Record yourself. Make the mistake, then move. Overthinking never teaches as much as doing does.
And you know what, Erin? That brings us to something people rarely talk about. What looks like laziness is often just fear in a clever disguise.
Absolutely. I remember staring at a blank screen for hours, telling myself I was just tired. But deep down, I was terrified the work wouldn't be good enough.
Fear can be paralyzing. It convinces you that not trying is safer than failing, and that fear wears many masks: procrastination, overthinking, avoidance.
For English learners, this might sound like, I'll practice when I'm better, or what if I sound silly? But here's the truth. Fear is normal, and the only way out is through.
Start small. Speak up once. Ask a question. Make a tiny mistake. Then keep going. That's not weakness. That's bravery in motion.
And once you stop letting fear lead the way, here's the next move. Set yourself up for success by making the first step ridiculously easy.
Yes. The trick isn't to push harder. It's to lower the barrier. Imagine trying to climb a mountain in slippers. Of course you'll hesitate. But what if the first step was just putting on your shoes?
That's the secret. Reduce the effort it takes to start. For me, I wanted to read more, but I was always too busy. So I put a book on my nightstand. No searching, no setup. Just reach over and read one page.
And it works the same way for English learners. Instead of saying, I'll study grammar for an hour, start with, I'll learn one new phrase today. Keep your English notebook open on your desk. Keep a language app on your home screen.
The easier it is to begin, the more often you'll begin. And those tiny actions, they compound. Before you know it, you've built a habit. Not by willpower, but by design.
And there it is. Sometimes it's not about working harder. It's about starting smaller. Make it easy, make it obvious, and let the momentum do the heavy lifting.
Yep. And now that we've unpacked all 7 points, we hope you're walking away not just motivated, but ready to take that first small step, whether it's for your goals, your English, or both.
And of course, we know we dropped quite a few powerful words and phrases along the way. So it's time to hand things over to Charlotte for your vocabulary breakdown.
Charlotte's got you covered with simple meanings and fresh examples to help you use these words in real life. Take it away, Charlotte.
Hi, friends. I'm Charlotte, and here are some intermediate words and phrases from today's episode to boost your English. Let's jump in. Quirk. Meaning, a unique or unusual habit or behavior. Example. One of his quirks is talking to his plants every morning before work. Mirage. Meaning, something that appears real or promising but isn't. Example. The idea of overnight success is often just a mirage. True growth takes time. Momentum. Meaning, a force that keeps something moving or progressing. Example. After cleaning one drawer, I got into the momentum and ended up organizing the whole room. Perfectionism. Meaning, the desire to be perfect, often leading to delay or fear of failure. Example. His perfectionism kept him from finishing the painting. He was never satisfied with it. Stumble. Meaning, to make a mistake or lose balance temporarily. Example. She stumbled over her words during the interview but recovered gracefully. Streamline. Meaning, to make something simpler and more efficient. Example. We need to streamline our morning routine so we're not always late. Mental clutter. Meaning, excess thoughts or distractions that affect focus. Example. I couldn't study with so much mental clutter, so I wrote everything down to clear my head. Disguise. Meaning, to hide something's real appearance or truth. Example. His confidence was actually a disguise for how nervous he felt inside. Overwhelm. Meaning, to feel stressed or unable to manage due to too much happening. Example. I was overwhelmed by the number of messages waiting for me after my trip. Frustration. Meaning, the feeling of being upset or annoyed because things aren't going as expected. Example. She felt deep frustration when the website kept crashing during her test. Friction. Meaning, resistance or obstacles that make progress harder. Example. The app's complicated sign-up process created too much friction, so I gave up. That's your vocabulary boost for today. Try using a couple of these words when you write or speak English this week. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become. See you next time.
Thank you, Charlotte. That was super helpful. Those words are going straight into my daily conversations.
And for all of you listening, if today's episode resonated with you, take one action today. Just one. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait to feel ready. Start messy. Start small. Just start.
All right, friends. We'll see you in the next episode with more real talk, more laughs, and more ways to level up your English and your life.
Stay curious, stay kind, and most importantly, keep going.
Bye for now.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.
English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hello, and welcome everyone to the English Leap Podcast, your go-to podcast for learning English and discovering practical ways to lead a happier life. I'm Erin, and I'm beyond excited you've joined us.
Thanks for that wonderful introduction, Erin. I'm Evan, and I'm feeling fantastic. How about you? How's life on your side?
I'm doing really well. Thanks. You know, I've been thinking a lot about how daily routines, from the moment we wake up until we go to bed, can influence our happiness. Even small actions, like a quick morning stretch or a calming night ritual, can really shape our entire day.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we'll be covering today, right? We're going to share our personal daily routines, morning, afternoon, evening, and night, and talk about how each step makes our lives happier and more fulfilling.
That's the plan. But before we dive into all the details, we have something special for you. We've put together a free PDF that outlines the key takeaways from our daily routines, plus comprehension questions and grammar exercises to help you sharpen your English skills.
Exactly. It's a great companion to this episode, so don't forget to grab it. Plus, we'll also be introducing a handful of intermediate-level words and phrases along the way.
That's right. And we'll take a closer look at them later in Charlotte's vocabulary section, where Charlotte will break down those words and phrases, explain their meaning, and show how to use them in real-life conversations.
So, by the time we wrap up today, you'll not only have a detailed plan for a happier day from start to finish, but you'll also have new English vocabulary to help you express your ideas even better.
Exactly. Ready to dive in, Evan?
Absolutely. Let's get started on creating a happier day, one routine at a time.
All right. Let's kick things off by talking about our morning routines. Because, let's face it, how we start our day can really set the tone for everything else.
I completely agree, Erin. If I don't begin my morning in a purposeful way, I feel like I'm playing catch-up for the rest of the day.
Exactly. Let's jump right in. My alarm goes off at 6 a.m., and the first thing I do is stretch my body gently in bed before getting up. I always resist checking my phone immediately because mornings should start peacefully. It's far more revitalizing that way.
That's great, Erin. I wake up around 6:15 a.m., and like you, I avoid grabbing my phone right away. Instead, I head straight to the bathroom, wash my face with cold water, and brush my teeth. This instantly makes me feel refreshed.
Oh, yes. Brushing your teeth first thing really wakes you up. After brushing, I drink a full glass of room temperature water with a squeeze of lemon. This jump-starts my metabolism and keeps me hydrated.
Nice one. Hydration is so crucial in the morning. After washing my face and brushing my teeth, I do a quick 10-minute mindfulness meditation session. I usually sit on a comfy cushion, close my eyes, and focus on my breathing. This helps me clear my mind and set positive intentions for the day.
Mindfulness really does wonders. After my hydration routine, I move on to some light yoga stretches, about 10 minutes to release any stiffness in my body. It keeps me energized and optimistic.
Amazing. After that, I head straight to the kitchen. Coffee is my next important step. I love the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. It alone can boost my mood. While it's brewing, I prepare breakfast. My go-to is oatmeal topped with fruits, nuts, and a drizzle of honey. Healthy, quick, and delicious.
Yum! My breakfast usually includes scrambled eggs or avocado toast with a side of fruits. While making breakfast, I also put on some soft background music or an uplifting podcast. It really helps me stay positive.
Nice. Music is definitely a mood enhancer. After breakfast, I shower. And here's my secret. I finish with 30 seconds of cold water. It sounds tough, but trust me, nothing wakes you up faster.
You're braver than me. After breakfast, I take a warm shower, brush my hair, and get dressed for the day. Then I quickly review my day's plan, jotting down any key tasks and goals in my planner.
All right, let's shift gears to the afternoon.
I'm curious, Evan. How do you keep your momentum going after lunch?
You know, it can be challenging, especially when the afternoon slump hits. But I've learned that a short break right after lunch can really rejuvenate my mind. Sometimes I take a quick walk around the block, just to get some fresh air.
Exactly. Moving around a bit helps energize me too. If I stay glued to my chair, I feel sluggish all day. I also try to have a balanced lunch, something like a salad with protein or a simple sandwich, so I don't get that post-meal crash.
That's so true. And once I'm back at my desk, I usually follow the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of focused work, then a 5-minute interval to stretch or get some water. It keeps me productive without burning out.
Oh, I love that method. I've also started scheduling mini breaks on my phone as a reminder to step away. During those breaks, I might do some deep breathing or just sip my tea mindfully. It helps sustain my energy levels.
Yes, a small pause does wonders. Otherwise, I end up feeling overwhelmed. Another thing I do is write down my top 3 priorities for the afternoon. That way, I can prioritize what really needs my attention.
That's a great idea. I find that focusing on a few critical tasks instead of juggling everything at once keeps me from getting distracted. It's all about clarifying what matters the most.
Exactly. Staying hydrated, taking strategic breaks, and prioritizing tasks are my go-to strategies for a productive afternoon.
And let's not forget that around 3 p.m., a cup of tea, or coffee for some, can be a nice pick-me-up as well.
Now that we've talked about morning and afternoon routines, let's explore what we do in the evening. Once I'm done with work, I like to do a quick review of the day. I'll note any leftover tasks and move them to tomorrow's list. It helps me switch off from work mode.
Exactly. If I don't wrap up properly, I stay in work mode all night. After that, I either go for a short walk or do a little stretching, just enough to transition mentally.
That's a great way to unplug. For me, dinner usually comes next. Sometimes I cook, other times I'll order something simple. Either way, I make sure I'm present during the meal. I don't scroll through my phone or watch TV. It's a nice break from screens.
Right. Being mindful at dinner time can be really relaxing. I love trying out new recipes, even if they're simple. It feels like a creative project. Plus, a good meal makes me feel satisfied and ready to wind down.
Absolutely. After dinner, I often take a few minutes to tidy up. I find that leaving the kitchen clean helps me feel more at ease. If I have time, I might read a chapter of a book or catch up on a relaxing show.
Same here. I'll sometimes call a friend or listen to a short podcast, something upbeat and not too heavy.
Great. Now that we've tackled the evening wind down, let's move on to our night routine. For me, everything starts winding down around 9 p.m. I'll dim the lights in my living space and put away most electronics so my mind can begin to relax.
That's a smart idea. Low lighting really does signal to your brain that it's time to rest. I do something similar. I turn off my laptop and keep my phone in another room so I'm not tempted to keep scrolling late at night.
Exactly. Once the electronics are off, I like to take a warm shower or wash my face and change into comfortable clothes. It sounds basic, but it's a key part of my nightly routine. It helps me feel fresh and ready for bed.
I'm with you on that. After a warm shower, I often read a chapter of a book or write down a quick reflection of how my day went. It helps me process what happened and clear my thoughts before sleeping.
Sometimes I'll make a short gratitude list. It could be anything from a tasty dinner to finishing a big work project. It's a nice way to focus on the positive before bed.
Definitely. Then I usually set my alarm, take a moment to lay out any essentials for the morning, like my outfit or a packed bag, and crawl into bed. By the time my head hits the pillow, my mind feels a lot calmer.
That's so helpful. It saves you from any morning chaos. I also jot down a quick to-do list for the next day if there's anything important on my mind. It's a small step, but it makes mornings so much smoother.
Exactly. By taking care of these little tasks now, we can wake up more relaxed. It really helps me fall asleep peacefully.
And that's the whole point of a night routine, isn't it? Ending the day in a calm state so you can wake up feeling refreshed and ready for whatever tomorrow brings.
Well, that wraps up our daily routine, from early morning stretches to winding down at night. We hope you found some ideas you can use in your own life. Now, as promised, it's time for Charlotte's vocabulary section, where we'll explore some of the intermediate level words and phrases we mentioned today. Charlotte, take it away.
Thanks, Erin. Hello again, English learners. In this episode, Erin and Evan use some great terms related to daily routines and well-being. Let's break down a few of them. I'll explain what they mean and give you examples of how to use them in real-life conversations. Revitalizing, meaning giving new energy or life. Example: a short nap in the afternoon can be very revitalizing. Metabolism, meaning the process in your body that turns food into energy. Example: eating breakfast helps kickstart my metabolism. Mindfulness, meaning paying close attention to what you are doing right now. Example: she practices mindfulness by focusing on her breathing for 5 minutes each morning. Intentions, meaning plans or purposes for what you want to do. Example: my intentions for this summer include learning to swim and reading 3 books. Uplifting, meaning making you feel happier or more hopeful. Example: the music at the concert was so uplifting that everyone left with big smiles. Slumped, meaning a period when you feel tired or lose motivation. Example: I often hit a slump in the afternoon and need a quick break. Rejuvenate, meaning to make someone feel fresh or energetic again. Example: a day at the spa can rejuvenate both your mind and body. Sustain, meaning to keep something going for a period of time. Example: it's hard to sustain a daily exercise routine without a proper plan. Clarifying, meaning making something clearer and easier to understand. Example: the teacher gave a clarifying example so we'd know how to solve the problem. Pick me up, meaning something that quickly makes you feel better or more energetic. Example: a short walk outside can be a good pick-me-up after hours of studying. Thanks for sticking with me through these words. Remember, practice makes perfect, so try using them in your own sentences or conversations today. Now back to Erin and Evan.
Thank you, Charlotte. That was incredibly helpful.
Absolutely. We hope everyone listening feels more confident using those words in their day-to-day English practice.
And with that, we're at the end of today's episode. We truly appreciate you spending time with us here on the English Leap podcast. Don't forget to check out our free PDF with key takeaways, comprehension questions, and grammar exercises.
Exactly. Make sure to grab that PDF and keep practicing the vocabulary Charlotte introduced. You'll be amazed at how quickly you can level up your English.
Until next time, keep learning, Stay positive, and remember that every little step you take in your daily routine can lead to big changes in your life. Take care, everyone.
See you in the next episode.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.
English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hello, wonderful listeners. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the English Leap Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jennifer. We're your hosts on this journey to mastering English.
That's right. Here at the English Leap Podcast, we believe that learning English should be practical and engaging.
Absolutely. We're all about lively conversations that help you improve your English skills.
Please join us as we take a moment to reflect on and discuss today's important topic.
Daniel, with all the news about Hurricane Milton lately, it really got me thinking. Have you ever experienced a severe storm?
You know, Jennifer, I actually have. A few years ago, I was visiting my hometown when a massive storm hit.
Ouch, what was it like?
Well, the wind was so strong it felt like the whole house was shaking. Trees were bending, and the rain was pouring down in sheets.
That sounds terrifying.
It was quite the experience. We lost power for 3 days and had to rely on candles and flashlights.
It's incredible how much we take electricity for granted until it's gone.
Exactly. But you know, with all the news about Hurricane Milton lately, it brings back those memories.
I was just thinking the same thing. Hurricane Milton has been a major event recently.
Yes, and it's impacted so many people's lives. I thought it would be important for us to talk about it today.
Agreed. Not only can we shed some light on what's happening, but we can also learn some new vocabulary related to hurricanes.
Perfect. Let's get started.
Oh, and before we continue, don't forget about the PDF for today's episode. It includes all the vocabulary, phrases, and extra tips we'll talk about today. Just click the link in the description to download it.
And later on, our friend Charlotte, our vocabulary expert, will join us to break down some key words and expressions, making them easy to understand and remember.
That's right. Charlotte will explain everything in a simple way. Trust me, you won't want to miss her segment. So let's talk about Hurricane Milton. It's been quite a storm, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Hurricane Milton has been one of the most powerful storms we've seen in recent years.
It all started as a small tropical disturbance off the west coast of Africa, right?
Yes, it began as a cluster of thunderstorms that moved over the warm Atlantic waters.
Warm ocean water is like fuel for hurricanes. It provides the energy they need to grow.
Exactly. As Milton traveled westward, it gained strength and became a tropical storm.
Then it intensified rapidly into a Category 4 hurricane.
Category 4 means the winds were between 130 and 156 miles per hour. That's incredibly strong.
Can you imagine winds that powerful? It's like having a constant roaring jet engine outside your window.
It's both fascinating and terrifying. Meteorologists, the weather scientists, were closely monitoring Milton's development.
They were. Satellite images showed the storm's eye becoming more defined, which is a sign of strengthening.
The eye of the hurricane is the calm center, surrounded by the eye wall where the most intense weather occurs.
Right. Initially, forecasts predicted that Milton might curve north and miss land altogether.
But then, due to changes in atmospheric conditions, it shifted direction toward the coast.
That must have been alarming for the people living in its path.
Indeed, coastal communities had to act fast to prepare.
You know, Daniel, when I think about Hurricane Milton and the impact it had, it's almost hard to wrap my head around. The scale of it all is just unimaginable.
It really is, Jennifer. There's a deep sadness when you see the places it hit hardest. It's like the heart of those communities has been torn out.
Absolutely. The destruction is just so vast. The storm was merciless, tearing through everything in its path with fierce anger.
Exactly. It left whole communities in ruins. So many homes and places were badly damaged.
And it wasn't just the homes. Power lines were knocked down too, leaving thousands in the dark for days.
Right. And it wasn't just power outages. The roads were flooded, blocked by debris. That made rescue efforts even more difficult.
The pictures of families displaced from their homes, communities torn apart. It's really hard to watch.
It is, and sadly, lives were lost too. That's the most painful part of all.
It really breaks my heart. Our thoughts are with everyone going through this right now.
Absolutely. And while we focus on the human impact, we can't forget the toll this took on the environment too.
Exactly. Wetlands, wildlife habitats, all severely disrupted. This damage goes deeper than just what we see on the surface.
And it's going to take years for nature to bounce back from something like this.
Even with all the destruction, though, I have to say it's inspiring to see the way people have come together. The emergency response teams have been incredible.
Oh, for sure. Local authorities acted fast, issuing evacuation orders before the storm even hit.
Yeah, and for those who might not know, evacuation means people were told to leave their homes to stay safe.
Exactly. And a lot of people found safety in shelters that were set up by the government and various charities.
And those emergency teams? They've been working around the clock.
Absolutely. You've got rescue teams using boats and helicopters to reach people who were stranded. It's amazing work.
And what's even more heartwarming is seeing volunteers coming in from all over the country to help out. That's the real spirit of community.
Yeah, it's moments like these that show just how strong people can be when they come together.
Definitely. But some concerns have been raised about whether the disaster preparedness plans were really up to the task for something this big.
I've heard that too. Unfortunately, some areas didn't get the warnings they needed in time. There's definitely room for improvement.
That's why communication is so key in situations like this.
Absolutely. If we can improve how we prepare and respond, we can save lives and minimize damage.
Speaking of preparation, Daniel, what do you think about how storms like Milton are getting more intense? It seems like hurricanes are getting stronger every year.
That's a great question, Jennifer. A lot of scientists are saying climate change is a major factor behind the increasing severity and frequency of these storms.
It makes sense with ocean temperatures rising. Warmer waters fuel stronger storms, right?
Exactly. And don't forget, rising sea levels make storm surges even more dangerous.
It feels like Hurricane Milton is a sign of these changes we're starting to see, right in front of us.
No doubt about it. It's a wake-up call. We need to take climate change seriously because storms like this aren't going away.
And we all play a role, don't we? Even small changes can help.
Totally. Things like using less energy, recycling more. These small actions add up.
You nailed it, Daniel. As we were talking about Hurricane Milton earlier, I couldn't stop thinking about some of the amazing stories coming out of the affected areas.
Same here. The bravery and resilience of people. It's been so inspiring to hear about.
People like those who stayed behind during the storm to take care of others, those rescuing families trapped in their homes, and volunteers who organized support for those in need.
That's the spirit that gets communities through tough times. Everyone pitching in, doing whatever they can.
Exactly. These stories show us the human side of these disasters, and they remind us of the power of compassion and unity.
But beyond the personal stories, we can't forget about the economic toll this hurricane has left behind.
Yeah, rebuilding after something like this is no small feat. So many businesses have been destroyed, and it's going to take a long time for them to recover.
Local shops, restaurants, they're all struggling just to get back on their feet.
And it's not just the business owners who are hurting. Their employees are now out of work, with no income coming in.
It's tough for everyone. Insurance companies are dealing with more claims than they can handle.
And some people didn't even have insurance, which is just heartbreaking.
The real estate market's been hit hard too. Property values have plummeted in the wake of the storm.
It's going to be a long road to recovery. A lot of patience and resilience will be needed.
Speaking of resilience, have you noticed how the media's been covering all this?
Oh, for sure. It's been all over the news. And social media? It's just nonstop updates, photos, videos, people sharing in real time.
It's been helpful in a lot of ways, keeping people informed and connected, but we've got to be careful. There's a lot of misinformation out there.
Exactly. It's so important to check facts before sharing anything online. It's easy to spread false info in moments like these.
Overall, though, the media has done a great job of bringing attention to the areas in need.
And the public's response has been overwhelming. Donations, supplies, people are really stepping up to help.
It's always heartwarming to see that kind of generosity during times of crisis.
Absolutely. It reminds us that even in the hardest times, people are capable of so much kindness.
But it also raises an important question. What lessons can we learn from Hurricane Milton?
One important lesson is the need for better emergency planning. While the response has been admirable, we have to ask ourselves if we could have done more to prepare. Were there enough shelters? Did people have access to the right information early enough to evacuate safely?
Yes, having clear evacuation routes and plans is crucial. In some cases, evacuation orders came late, or people didn't know where to go. Making sure that people know what to do and where to go in advance can save lives.
And then there's the issue of infrastructure. Improving the infrastructure to withstand storms can save lives and reduce damage. For example, stronger buildings, flood defenses, and even better drainage systems could prevent the kind of widespread destruction we've seen.
Exactly. Coastal areas in particular need to be designed to resist the power of these storms. If we can strengthen homes, roads, and power grids, we can limit the damage.
Early warning systems also need to be effective. Technology has improved, but there are still gaps in communication. Getting information to people as quickly as possible can be the difference between life and death.
And educating people on how to prepare is essential. People need to know how to respond to a storm, whether it's evacuating or preparing their homes for the worst. More public awareness campaigns could really help.
But beyond the immediate lessons, we also need to think about the bigger picture: climate change. Some scientists say it could be making hurricanes stronger and more frequent.
That's a point that's hard to ignore. Warmer ocean temperatures and rising sea levels seem to be contributing to the intensity of storms like Hurricane Milton. Addressing environmental issues might help reduce future disasters.
If we don't act on climate change, we could be facing more hurricanes of this magnitude in the future. It's a wake-up call that we need to take seriously. We all have a part to play in protecting our planet.
Even small actions, like reducing energy use, recycling, and supporting renewable energy, can make a difference. It's about making responsible choices now to protect the future.
Well said, Daniel. It's a collective responsibility, and we can all contribute. I hope we can learn from this disaster and be better prepared for the future.
Me too. It's important for everyone's safety, and we owe it to the next generation to make sure they inherit a safer, more resilient world.
Now, before we wrap up, let's bring in Charlotte for the vocabulary breakdown.
That's right. Charlotte will explain some of the key words and phrases we use today.
Thanks, Jennifer and Daniel. Hi, everyone. Let's go over a few keywords from today's conversation that can help you improve your English. Hurricane. Meaning, a powerful storm with strong winds and heavy rain. Example, Hurricane Milton caused severe damage to the coastal town. Tropical disturbance. Meaning, a weather system with organized thunderstorms, usually in the tropics, which can develop into a hurricane. Example, a tropical disturbance off the coast of Africa turned into a major hurricane within days. Storm surge. Meaning, an abnormal rise of water generated by a storm over and above the predicted tides. Example, the storm surge from the hurricane caused severe flooding in coastal areas. Meteorologists. Meaning, scientists who study weather and climate. Example, meteorologists closely monitored the storm as it approached the coast. Eye of the hurricane. Meaning, the calm center of a hurricane surrounded by the most intense part of the storm. Example, the eye of the hurricane passed directly over the city, bringing a brief period of calm. Eye wall. Meaning, the area surrounding the eye of the storm where the most intense wind and rain occur. Example, the eye wall brought powerful winds and torrential rain to the region. Atmospheric conditions. Meaning, the state of the atmosphere at a given time, including factors like temperature, wind, and pressure that affect weather. Example, due to changing atmospheric conditions, the storm shifted unexpectedly. Unimaginable. Meaning, impossible to think of or comprehend, beyond what one can imagine. Example, the level of destruction caused by the hurricane was almost unimaginable. Showed no mercy, meaning, to be extremely severe or harsh without showing compassion or restraint. Example, the storm showed no mercy as it tore through the coastal towns. Displaced, meaning, forced to leave one's home, typically because of a disaster or conflict. Example, thousands of people were displaced after the hurricane destroyed their homes. Toll, meaning, the cost or damage caused by something, especially a disaster. Example, the environmental toll of the storm will take years to recover from. Bounce back, meaning, to recover from a difficult situation or setback. Example, it will take time for the community to bounce back after the storm. Evacuation, meaning, the process of moving people from a dangerous area to a safer place. Example, evacuation orders were given as the hurricane approached the coast. Rescue teams, meaning, groups of people trained to save others from dangerous situations. Example, rescue teams used helicopters to airlift people stranded by the floodwaters. Wake-up call, meaning, an event that alerts people to a problem or the need for action. Example, Hurricane Milton is a wake-up call for us to take climate change seriously. Selflessness, meaning, concern for the well-being of others before oneself, being unselfish. Example, the nurse's selflessness during the hurricane was an inspiration to everyone. Economic toll, meaning, the financial damage or loss caused by an event, such as a natural disaster. Example, the economic toll of the hurricane will be felt for years as businesses struggle to rebuild. Plummeted, meaning, to fall or drop sharply. Example, after the storm, property values plummeted, leaving many homeowners in financial distress. Resilience, meaning, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties or challenges. Example, the resilience of the community was evident as they began to rebuild after the storm. Power outages, meaning, a period when electrical power is not available. Example, the storm caused widespread power outages, leaving thousands without electricity. Working around the clock, meaning, working continuously, day and night without stopping. Example, emergency response teams have been working around the clock to help those affected by the hurricane. Stranded, meaning, left in a difficult or helpless situation, unable to leave or move. Example, many people were stranded in their homes as floodwaters rose around them. Debris, meaning, scattered pieces of waste, remains, or broken material, usually after something has been destroyed. Example, after the hurricane, the streets were filled with debris from fallen trees and damaged buildings. So that wraps up all the key phrases and vocabulary from today's conversation. I hope you found it helpful.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. That was very helpful.
Yes, we appreciate it. Expanding your vocabulary is key to learning English.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode.
We hope you found our conversation both interesting and useful.
Don't forget to download the PDF with all the vocabulary and notes from today's show.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave us feedback.
And make sure to subscribe for more episodes of the English Leap podcast.
Thank you for tuning in.
Until next time, keep practicing and stay curious.
Take care, everyone, and keep leaping towards your English goals.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.
English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to the English Leap podcast, your favorite place to improve your English while talking about real-life topics that actually matter.
That's right. I'm Evan.
And I'm Erin. Today, we're talking about something I know a lot of you will relate to. Being ambitious, but lazy.
Ah, that magic combination. You want success, but when it's time to actually do the work, suddenly your bed is the most comfortable place on earth.
Or you open YouTube for inspiration, and next thing you know, you've watched 5 videos on how to be productive, but haven't actually done anything.
Oh, that's painfully accurate. But here's the good news. You're not alone. And today, we're going to break down exactly why this happens and how you can actually overcome it.
All right, let's start with a question for everyone listening. Think about your biggest goal right now. Maybe you want to start a business, learn a new language, or finally get in shape. You can picture the dream perfectly, right?
Mm-hmm. You can see yourself as that future version of you. Successful, confident, totally in control. But then reality hits.
And instead of taking action, you suddenly remember you need to check your messages, or clean your desk, or, worst of all, make a detailed plan before you even start.
Yep, and that's where the problem begins. We get so focused on planning, preparing, and thinking about our goals that we never actually start.
Mm-hmm. And when we do start, we quickly feel overwhelmed and stop. It's like standing at the bottom of a mountain, looking up and thinking, "Oh no, that's way too high. Maybe I'll climb tomorrow."
Exactly. So, what do? That's what we're breaking down today. How to work with your laziness instead of against it, so you can actually start achieving your goals.
Oh, before we dive in, don't forget we've got a free PDF for this episode.
It's more than just a summary. We've added a comprehension exercise and grammar practice to help you improve your English too.
So, you'll boost both your productivity and your English skills. Grab it from the link in the description.
Okay, let's talk about the science behind this. Why does this even happen? Why do ambitious people struggle with laziness?
It's actually simple. Our brains love big dreams, but they hate big effort. When something feels too overwhelming, our natural instinct is to avoid it.
Right? It's like your brain sees all the steps you need to take and just shuts down.
Think about it like this. Imagine you have to run a marathon. 42 kilometers. If I told you to start right now, no training, no warm-up, just go, how would you feel?
Probably like dying after 100 meters.
Exactly. That's how big goals feel. You see the huge distance between where you are and where you want to be, and it feels impossible. So, what do? You stay in bed and scroll TikTok instead.
So the first thing we need to do is stop thinking about the entire marathon and just focus on the first step.
Exactly. So instead of writing long to-do lists, let's try something different. Something that actually makes you start instead of just planning.
Okay, I'm listening. What's the trick?
Instead of listing out a million things you have to do, write about your day as if it already happened.
Wait, you mean pretend I've already done everything?
Exactly. Instead of saying, "I need to study today," write, "I sat down, focused, and studied for an hour. I even had time to take a break and felt great afterward."
Oh, I see what you're doing. So instead of a stressful to-do list, I'm creating a vision of success. It feels like I've already done it.
Yep. Your brain sees it as possible instead of overwhelming. When you describe your day in past tense, it tricks your mind into thinking the hard part is already over, making it easier to follow through.
That actually makes so much sense. When I write a normal to-do list, it just reminds me of everything I haven't done yet. But if I write it in past tense, my brain already believes I've accomplished something.
Exactly. And the best part? No pressure, no overwhelm, just an easy mental shift that makes productivity feel effortless.
Okay, let's try this. Normally, I'd write, go to the gym, study for 2 hours, clean my apartment, finish my work project. But that already looks exhausting.
Right. So instead, write, I went to the gym for 30 minutes and felt refreshed afterward. Then I studied for 2 hours, and it was easier than I expected. I even had time to clean up and finish my work project before dinner, so I felt super accomplished.
Oh, that sounds way less stressful. It actually makes me want to do it because it feels doable instead of overwhelming.
That's the power of shifting your mindset. Instead of a rigid to-do list, you're giving yourself a clear and encouraging vision of success.
Okay, but what if I write it down and still don't feel motivated?
Then make it even smaller. Instead of writing a whole day, just write one thing. I finished my work project today, and it felt great.
Ah, so if a full day feels overwhelming, just focus on one task and write it as if it's done?
Yes. And if you really need a boost, imagine yourself at the end of the day. Picture how relieved and accomplished you'll feel if you actually complete that one thing.
Okay, so now I know how to trick my brain into starting. But what if the task itself is just boring?
Ah, great question. That's where our next trick comes in. Making work feel like play so you actually want to do it.
All right, I love this trick because, let's be honest, if something feels boring, we avoid it. But if it's fun, we'll do it for hours.
Exactly. So instead of forcing yourself to work hard, you can trick your brain into wanting to do the task.
Okay, but how do we do that? I mean, work is work, right?
Not necessarily. Let's say you need to clean your room. What's something that makes it feel less boring?
Music! I blast my favorite songs and suddenly, I'm a cleaning superstar.
Exactly. Small changes make a huge difference. Music, a different location, even a cup of coffee. These small things can make boring tasks way more enjoyable.
All right, but what about things like studying? How do I make that fun?
Turn it into a game. Set a timer for 10 minutes and challenge yourself to finish as much as possible before the time runs out.
Ooh, like a speed round? That makes it way more exciting.
Yep. Or use rewards. If I finish this task, I get a coffee break.
I love it. So instead of forcing myself to work, I just make it fun.
Exactly. And that's what makes it easier to start and stay focused.
Okay, so now I'm starting and having fun. But what if I still don't finish things?
Ah, that's where our next trick comes in. The unfinished task effect. Let's get into it. So we've talked about how to start and how to make work fun. But let's talk about another problem. Starting something and then just never finishing it.
Oh, that's me. I'll begin something, feel productive for a while, then suddenly lose motivation and convince myself I'll finish it later. But later never happens.
And the worst part? That unfinished task stays in your mind, making you feel guilty every time you think about it.
Yes, I'll completely ignore something for weeks, but then the moment I try to relax, my brain suddenly reminds me about it.
That's called the Zeigarnik effect. It's a psychological trick our brains play on us. Once we start something, our minds don't like leaving it incomplete.
Oh, so that's why when I start a Netflix show, I have to finish it.
Exactly. And you can use that same trick to your advantage with work and productivity.
Okay, so how do we make the Zeigarnik effect work for us instead of against us?
Simple. Don't aim to finish, just aim to start. The moment you begin, your brain will naturally push you to keep going because it hates leaving things unfinished.
So instead of saying, I need to finish this report, I say, I'll write the first sentence?
Exactly. Once you write that first sentence, your brain won't want to leave it hanging. Before you know it, you've written a full paragraph, then a page, then you're done.
Oh, that's sneaky. It's way easier to convince myself to do one small thing than to commit to the whole task.
So now we know how to start, how to make work fun, and how to keep going once we've started. But what if we're spending time on the wrong things? What if we're just being busy instead of being productive?
Oh, I know this one. I have days where I'm super busy answering emails, organizing my files, checking notifications, but by the end of the day, I've done nothing important.
Exactly. And this is what happens when we don't prioritize correctly. Just because you're doing something doesn't mean you're making progress.
Right. It's like running on a treadmill. Lots of effort, but you're not actually going anywhere.
Perfect analogy. That's why we need the Eisenhower matrix. It helps us figure out what's actually important and what's just wasting time.
Okay, I've heard of this, but never used it. What's the deal?
It's a super simple way to organize tasks. Picture a box with 4 squares. Every task you have falls into one of these categories. Number 1. Important and urgent. Do it now. Like deadlines, emergencies, last-minute prep. Number 2. Important but not urgent. Schedule it. Like learning a skill, working out, long-term projects. Number 3. Urgent but not important. Delegate it. Like emails, small admin tasks, unnecessary meetings. Number 4. Neither important nor urgent. Delete it. Like mindless scrolling, binge-watching random videos.
Oof. So my 2-hour research session on productivity videos falls in category 4, huh?
Yep. If it's not actively helping you reach your goals, it's probably just a distraction.
Okay, so how do I use this? Just write down my tasks and categorize them.
Exactly. And once you see where your time is going, you'll realize a lot of what feels urgent can actually be ignored or scheduled for later.
That makes sense. So instead of feeling busy all the time, I focus on what actually moves me forward.
Exactly. Work smarter, not harder.
Okay. But what about people who get stuck because they're afraid of failing? Like, sometimes I avoid things just because I don't want to mess up.
Ah, that's a big one. That's where our next trick comes in. Learning to embrace being bad at something so you can actually improve.
All right, I'll be honest. I hate being bad at things. If I'm not naturally good at something, I tend to just not try.
Oh, I so get that. And that's exactly why perfectionism makes people more lazy. We don't start things because we're scared of failing.
Right? Like, I've always wanted to learn guitar, but after struggling with a few chords, I thought, yeah, maybe I'm just not meant to play.
And that's the trap. If you only do things you're already good at, you never grow. The problem isn't being bad at something, it's expecting to be great at it instantly.
So how do we fix that?
The best way to fight perfectionism is to choose something where you don't care about being good. Pick a hobby just for fun.
Oh, so I should start something I know I'll be bad at, on purpose?
Exactly. It can be anything. Bad dancing, baking chaotic cookies, drawing stick figures. Just something where you can enjoy the process instead of obsessing over results.
Wait, so I can just suck at something and have fun with it?
Yep. When you stop fearing failure, you start more things. And that's what leads to real progress.
Okay. That actually makes a lot of sense. But let's say I get over my fear and start something new. How do I make sure I stick to it and don't fall back into old habits?
Ah, great question. That's where our final trick comes in. Learning how to think like the person you want to become.
All right. I'm curious about this one. Are you telling me I need to time travel?
Not exactly. But instead of asking yourself, what should I do? Try asking, what would my future successful self do?
Okay, I like this. So if I want to be fit, instead of thinking, should I work out today? I ask, would a fit person skip their workout?
Exactly. Your brain starts adjusting to act like that future version of you, and the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit.
So how do I actually apply this?
Simple. First, write down your current daily routine. How you spend your time, your habits, everything.
Oh, so I create a snapshot of what my life looks like right now?
Yep. Then, write down a future self routine. What your ideal, successful version of you would do in a day.
So if I want to be a productive person, my future self would wake up early, work with focus, and actually finish projects instead of getting distracted?
Exactly. Then, compare the two routines and find small habits you can start right now to bridge the gap.
Oh, that's brilliant. Instead of waiting for some magical, perfect moment to change, I just start acting like my future self today.
Yes. And once you start thinking like your future self, your decisions naturally align with your goals.
Wow, these tricks actually make sense. No more excuses.
Exactly. But before we wrap up, let's break down some of the key words and phrases we use today with our vocabulary expert, Charlotte.
Hey everyone, it's Charlotte, and I'm here to go over some important words and phrases from today's episode to make sure you understand them completely. Ambitious, meaning having a strong desire to succeed. Example, Sarah is very ambitious. She dreams of becoming a doctor one day. Overwhelmed, meaning feeling too much pressure or stress from something. Example, he felt overwhelmed with all the homework and projects due this week. Procrastination, meaning delay or postpone tasks. Example, Jake's procrastination made him finish his assignment at the last minute. Instinct, meaning a natural reaction or behavior. Example, when she heard a loud noise, her first instinct was to run. Accomplished, meaning successfully completed something. Example, after months of hard work, he finally accomplished his goal of running a marathon. Distractions, meaning things that take your attention away from what you should focus on. Example, social media is one of the biggest distractions when studying. Perspective, meaning a particular way of viewing or thinking about something. Example, from his perspective, the problem wasn't as serious as it seemed. Perfectionism, meaning the tendency to want everything to be perfect, often causing delays. Example, her perfectionism made her spend hours rewriting the same paragraph. Cliffhanger, meaning a story or episode ending in suspense, making you want to continue. Example, the movie ended with a cliffhanger, so now I can't wait for the sequel. Delegating, meaning assigning tasks to someone else. Example, a good leader knows the importance of delegating tasks to their team. Binge watching, meaning watching multiple episodes or videos in a row. Example, she spent the entire weekend binge watching her favorite TV series. And there you have it. These words and phrases will help you not only understand today's topic better, but also use them in real-life conversations. Try them out.
That was super helpful. Thanks, Charlotte.
Yeah, these words are so useful, especially when talking about productivity and habits.
All right, that officially wraps up today's episode. Don't forget to grab your free PDF in the description. It has all the key takeaways and exercises to help you apply these tricks.
And if you found this helpful, hit subscribe and share it with someone who needs a productivity boost.
See you next time on the English Leap podcast.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.
English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Leap podcast. I'm your host Jennifer, and right here with me is my co-host Daniel.
Hi everyone, it's great to be back. And Jennifer, I'm excited about today's topic. I think it's something we all need, sometimes more than we realize.
Definitely. Today we'll talk about discipline and self-control. We'll share some stories, give tips, and of course have some fun while we learn. So, Daniel, are you ready?
Absolutely. And to all our listeners, remember, we're here to make English easy and interesting. If you learn something new today, then we've done our job.
Oh, before we go further, don't forget there's a free PDF with all the key points from today's episode. So make sure to check it out in the description below. It's perfect if you want to follow along or review later.
So Jennifer, let me ask you a question. Have you ever found it hard to stay away from your phone when you should be working?
Oh, Daniel, don't get me started. I think my phone has a magnetic pull. I mean, who hasn't planned to just check one message and then, boom, an hour is gone?
Right. I know that feeling. It's like 1 minute you're checking a message, and the next, you're watching cute dog videos.
Exactly. And it's not just about phones. It could be food, games, or even hitting the snooze button in the morning. Staying in control is tough, right?
It really is. But that's why we're talking about this today, because we all face these challenges, and we can learn how to deal with them together.
So let's start with understanding discipline and self-control. Daniel, how would you explain discipline?
Well, Jennifer, I'd say discipline is doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's like getting up early for work on a cold Monday morning. You'd rather hit snooze and stay under the covers, but you get up because you know you have to.
Oh, I know that feeling. Especially when your bed feels extra comfy. I used to struggle with waking up for early workouts. I'd set my alarm for 5:30 a.m. and keep it across the room. That way, I had to physically get up to turn it off. Once I was out of bed, it was easier to start my day. That little change helped me stick to my morning routine.
That's a smart move. It shows how discipline sometimes needs a little push. And self-control, on the other hand, is about resisting things you know aren't good for you, like saying no to that extra slice of pizza when you're trying to eat healthier. It takes effort, but it's a skill you can build over time.
Speaking of self-control, that reminds me of last month when I was trying to cut back on caffeine. I'd always stop at my favorite coffee shop on the way to work. The smell of freshly brewed coffee was so tempting, but I told myself, just walk past it today. It wasn't easy at first, but after a week, it got easier. It's amazing how small wins can build up your self-control.
It's true. Those little victories make a big difference. It's like when you're trying to focus on work, but your phone keeps buzzing. You have to resist the urge to check it, even if you're just curious. The more you practice that, the stronger your discipline and self-control become.
And speaking of consistency, that's where habits come into play. You know, when you make something a habit, it becomes a lot easier to stick with. Like, if you always go for a walk after dinner, soon you won't even think twice about it. It'll just be part of your day.
Exactly. Habits are like shortcuts for your brain. Once something is a habit, it doesn't take as much effort to do it. I had a friend who wanted to read more, but he said he didn't have the time, so he started keeping a book in his car. Every time he waited in the pickup line at his child's school, he'd read a few pages. Eventually, it became a habit, and now he reads a couple of books a month.
That's such a good example. It shows that habits don't have to be big to be effective. Starting small is key. I mean, if you try to go from not running at all to running 5 miles every day, you'll probably give up pretty quickly. But if you start with just a short jog around the block, it feels more doable.
And those small steps really do make a significant difference over time. It's like saving a little bit of money each week. At first, it doesn't seem like much, but after a while, you've got a nice savings built up. Speaking of which, that reminds me of delayed gratification. It's the idea of waiting for something better instead of taking the instant reward.
Oh, yeah. Delayed gratification is like choosing not to buy that expensive gadget now so you can save up for a big vacation later. It's not easy to wait, especially when you really want something. I had to learn this lesson in college when I was saving up for a spring break trip. I had to skip some nights out with friends because I knew if I kept spending, I wouldn't have enough for the trip. It was tough, but when I finally made it to the beach, it was so worth it.
Absolutely. It's like that famous marshmallow test with kids. You know, where they gave kids a choice: eat 1 marshmallow now or wait 15 minutes and get 2 marshmallows. It sounds simple, but it's really about teaching ourselves to hold out for something better.
And it's not just about money or stuff. It can be about health, too. Like skipping dessert because you know you're working toward a fitness goal. At first, it feels like a sacrifice, but as you start seeing results, it gets easier to keep saying no.
That's true, Jennifer. But staying disciplined isn't always easy. There are challenges, especially when life gets stressful. When we're stressed, we tend to look for quick comfort, like junk food or binge-watching TV shows. It's our brain's way of dealing with all the pressure.
Oh, I totally get that. I remember last year during tax season, work was so busy, and I was stressed out. I'd come home and just eat a ton of snacks because it felt good at the moment. But then I noticed it wasn't making me feel any better in the long run. I had to find healthier ways to manage stress, like taking a walk or doing some breathing exercises.
That's a smart approach, Jennifer. Finding healthier ways to manage stress can really help. Speaking of managing things, let's talk about some strategies for developing discipline. When you want to build discipline, it's like building a muscle. You need to start small and gradually increase the weight.
Exactly. It's like going to the gym. You wouldn't start with the heaviest weights on day one. You'd start with something lighter and build up over time. The same goes for discipline. If you want to start waking up earlier, don't suddenly set your alarm 2 hours earlier than usual. Start by setting it 15 minutes earlier, then 30 minutes, and so on.
That reminds me of something I heard once, habit stacking. It's when you add a new habit onto something you already do. Let's say you always make coffee in the morning. You could use that time to do a quick stretch while the coffee's brewing. It helps you create a new routine without feeling overwhelmed.
That's a great technique. I actually started doing that with reading. I wanted to read more, so I made it a habit to read for 10 minutes after lunch every day. Since I was already taking a break, it was easy to add in a little reading time. Before I knew it, I was finishing a book every month.
What about you, listeners? Do you have any habits you've stacked successfully? Share them with us in the comments.
Yes, we'd love to hear your experiences. Little by little, these small habits add up over time.
Exactly. And that's where motivation and willpower come into play. Motivation is great for getting started, but it doesn't always stick around. Willpower is what helps you push through when you're not feeling motivated.
Oh, totally. Motivation is like that excitement you feel when you start a new project or set a goal, but it's not always there, especially when things get tough. I remember trying to keep up with my New Year's resolutions. I was super motivated in January, but by February, that excitement was wearing off. That's when I had to rely on willpower to keep going.
Yep, motivation is kind of like a spark. It lights the fire, but you need willpower to keep it burning. And willpower isn't infinite. That's why it's a good idea to tackle the hardest tasks early in the day when your willpower is stronger. It's like trying to get homework done right after school rather than waiting until late at night.
Exactly. And when you're running low on willpower, little tricks can help you stay on track. I sometimes give myself mini rewards, like a piece of dark chocolate after I finish a tough task. It's a small thing, but it helps keep me going.
I do the same. It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back. But another thing that really helps is mindfulness and self-awareness. When you're aware of your habits and how you're feeling, it's easier to stay disciplined. It's like catching yourself reaching for your phone out of boredom. When you're mindful, you can ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Or am I just trying to avoid something?
Speaking of self-awareness, that's so true, Daniel. It's about being present and paying attention to what you're doing. I remember I used to stress eat without even realizing it. Once I started practicing mindfulness, I noticed those moments when I was reaching for snacks just because I was anxious. Now, instead of grabbing a snack, I take a few deep breaths or go for a quick walk.
Mindfulness also helps with self-control because you're more aware of your triggers. If you know you tend to get distracted when you're tired, you can plan ahead, like taking a short nap or having a cup of tea to recharge before starting work again. It's about understanding yourself and what makes it hard to stay disciplined.
Absolutely. It's like knowing your strengths and weaknesses. When you're aware of the moments that test your self-control, you can prepare for them. And that leads us to balancing discipline with flexibility. It's important to be disciplined, but you also need to give yourself some grace.
Right? Life happens, and sometimes things don't go as planned. If you're too rigid, you might feel frustrated when you miss a workout or don't stick to your schedule. It's okay to adjust your plans. Like if you plan to go for a run, but it's pouring rain outside, doing a quick indoor workout is still better than doing nothing.
Yes, Daniel. Discipline is about progress, not perfection. If you're trying to eat healthy but end up having pizza with friends one night, it doesn't mean you failed. It just means you enjoyed yourself, and you can get back on track the next day.
Exactly. It's like taking a detour when there's traffic. You're still heading in the right direction. You just had to adjust your path a bit. The key is to stay flexible and keep moving forward.
I think that's the perfect way to look at it. Life isn't always straightforward, so being able to adapt while staying focused on your goals is what really makes discipline work.
So that brings us to the end of today's conversation. We hope you found our discussion on discipline and self-control helpful.
Yes, and before we wrap up, let's bring in Charlotte for the vocabulary breakdown. She'll help us understand some of the key words, phrases, and idioms we use today.
That's right. Charlotte is here to make sure we've got all the important vocabulary covered. Take it away, Charlotte.
Thanks, Jennifer and Daniel. Hi again, everyone. Let's go over a few keywords from today's conversation that you can use to improve your English. I'll explain their meanings and give you examples of how to use them in everyday situations. Discipline. Discipline means doing what you need to do, even if you don't feel like it. It's about staying committed to your goals and following a routine. Example: waking up early every day requires a lot of discipline. Self-control. Self-control is the ability to resist temptations and avoid doing things you know aren't good for you. Example: it takes self-control to skip dessert when you're trying to eat healthy. Delayed gratification. Delayed gratification means waiting for a bigger or better reward instead of taking something smaller right away. Example: saving money for a vacation instead of buying a new phone is an example of delayed gratification. Hit snooze. To hit snooze means to delay getting up by pressing the snooze button on your alarm clock. It's often used when you want to stay in bed longer. Example: I hit snooze 3 times this morning because I didn't want to get up. Willpower. Willpower is the ability to control your actions, emotions, or urges, especially when you're tempted to do something else. Example: it takes a lot of willpower to keep studying when your friends are going out. Build up over time. When something builds up over time, it means it gradually increases or becomes stronger with time. Example: small savings can build up over time and turn into a large amount. Pat on the back. Pat on the back is show of praise or approval. Example: after finishing that big project, I gave myself a pat on the back. Manage stress. To manage stress means to take actions to reduce stress levels or cope with stressful situations. Example: exercise and meditation are great ways to manage stress. Flexibility. Flexibility means being able to adapt to different situations or changes. It's the opposite of being rigid or strict. Example: it's important to have flexibility in your schedule in case something unexpected comes up. So that wraps up all the key words, phrases, and idioms from today's conversation. I hope you found this helpful and feel more confident using these expressions.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. That was incredibly helpful.
Yes, we really appreciate it. Expanding your vocabulary is such an important part of improving your English skills.
And with that, we're wrapping up today's episode. don't forget to download the PDF for today's episode. It has all the vocabulary, phrases, and practice exercises we covered. If you enjoyed the podcast, leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember, every step you take brings you closer to fluency.
Bye for now, and keep leaping towards your English goals. Until next time, happy learning.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.